Just Incredible, bringing you a Mega Man X2 speedrun tutorial on Crystal Snail. After defeating Centipede, you now have access to both the Strike Chain and the Speed Burner, which are your two weapons that will enhance your movement capability. So, right after Centipede, you're going to go into Snail, which is probably the one stage that showcases both weapons at once. So, from the very beginning, let me... So, as soon as you start the... So, as soon as you teleport in, you're going to go right to Burner and charge up for a Burner. Now, as you come down off of this ice ramp, you're going to get thrusted out a little bit due to the Burner speed. And then after the Burner expires, you want to switch to Chain. And just before landing in the right armor, you want to shoot a chain just before landing in it. And then as soon as you get movement, you want to start jumping up on the ramp. Now, you want to shoot the chain just before getting in the armor, because if you shoot it early and you jump in the armor, the robot armor is going to start churning its claws just like it did just before I lunged off the top of that ramp. And then you're landlocked because you can't jump while that's happening. So you want to start a charge for the right armor, but you want to start it late enough so that when you get up on the ramp, then you'll get your charge. And then when you get to the top of the ramp here, you want to dash off and then release your charge punch, and you'll lunge off the ramp, which lunge speed is pretty much just as fast as the speed burner speed. And then as you come in midair, you're going to tap the jump button, and you're going to tap the thrusters on your right armor. And your right armor thrust you don't have so much right armor thrust before it runs out. But you don't want to hold jump the whole time, because you'll burn all your thrust before you even get to the heart tank. So you just want to tap the jump button. Also, about halfway through, as you notice, I'm punching in midair because I'm charging another lunge punch after getting the heart tank here and coming back. So coming back, as you see, this is why I switched to Strike Chain before I get in the right armor, because now on the way back, I'm going to tap the thrusters, and then right when I see the platform come on screen, I'm going to jump off the right armor. And you do that by holding up while you press jump. And then at the very top of X's jump, I'm going to shoot a chain and grab the wall and start charging up for a burner. So I jump out. Now, if you chain at the right place as you jump out of the armor here, about 3 jumps should get you out of that pit. And then you just dash on the ice, and then the burner's ready as you come off the bottom of the ice ramp. And then you just let it go, and you have to hold against the direction you're going so you don't go right into the wall, because the burner really thrusts you forward combined with the ice sled speed that you get. So we're holding against our own momentum to not hit any of these crystal enemies on the wall. So after you dash under that one, as you see, I switch to chain after the burner expires there, and then I chain the corner of that wall, which it's not necessary, but it will help with your movement. But this stage is nothing but chain and burner. So you have to wait for the crystal to dislodge, and then once it passes, I jump out, and then I grab a hold of this wall here, and then I'm going to dash jump off to the right, and then let the burner go that I've had charged up. And then afterwards, I weapon cancel the Buster. I do a dash shot into that Reflexor on the ground level. Then I jump up to the little solid ground, jump kind of over that crystal and do another dash shot to take out that second one. And then after that second Reflexor gets destroyed, I'm holding charge for another burner for the mini boss skip. So we burner, cancel, dash shot, and then hold charge for the burner. Now climbing up the on top of these little ice blocks, there may be some lag depending on how fast you get through this little section. But you want to trail behind that little shot that little crystal enemy fires, and then you're going to get ready for the mini boss skip. So to skip the Magna Quartz mini boss, you should be charging Rush Burner, just like I mentioned before. At no later should you be charging at right here, because if you charge later than here, you won't get the full charge in time. Most of the time you won't. So once you get to the point shown right here, and a good visual cue is when X's back foot is past this line right here, you let release the charge burner go, and you keep holding right, and you'll get thrusted into the boss room. Now, and then you can just keep going, because the camera doesn't lock you into the boss room, and that's when the boss's hitbox spawns. So in theory, you just skip it since you're going too fast, and that's usually because the burner is causing enough lag combined with your fast speed. It just can't pick you up in time to lock in the room. So that is the crystal skip, how it's done. And here it is. And then right after that burner, you want to recharge another burner, because you're going to use it for the next section. So release it just after that little break in the floor. And the timing for that is actually very lenient. You have plenty of time to get it. Just don't release it as you're almost into the room, because you have to release it well before. If you wait till almost you're practically into the room, you won't get the skip. So now for triggering the big crystal coming up. In the Ostrich third route, you had two choices. You could go and get the capsule first, or you can go trigger the crystal and come back for the capsule. So we're going to talk about, we're going to do crystal first, because it's a second faster if you do it optimally. So after that burner expires from the what you're going to do, you're going to dash down this long ice ramp, and then at the visual cue pointed out here, and you have to watch the background for this, you want to jump and then release your burner charge just before hitting the ground. You don't want to be almost on the ground, but you want to still be in the air. Release this burner, and you're going to get thrusted forward with the combined speed boost from the ice ramp, and you'll get thrusted over the pit that leads to the helmet capsule. But you're going to quickly go back to chain, and at the very end of these ramps shown, or at least this first one, you're going to dash and shoot a chain, which by the time you jump up, the chain will grab the side of the crystal. Then you'll do one wall jump, and then dash again, and then jump and shoot at the end of this crystal, and you'll repeat that. And then as you do another wall jump to get up, you got some bats that are going to be following you. But when you dash forward, and you should be weapon canceling the X Buster after the second chain, because you're going to use the Buster charge to take out the bats once you get close enough to this crystal to trigger it. So here is the crystal first, at least up to triggering the capsule. So there's the first chain, one jump, another chain, one jump, weapon cancel to Buster, and you're going to turn around and take out the bats. Now, if you turn around too early, you'll bonk into the first bat, as you release your Buster charge. So you want to give yourself a little bit of room if you don't want to take damage. And it's very important not to take damage because that'll be important in just a moment when you come back through this area. So jump chain, Buster. So now coming back to the helmet capsule. So once the large crystal starts vibrating, it's going to break loose. So you turn around and release your X-Buster charge. And you'll take out these bats. And then you want to go right back to strike chain. And this crystal will be coming after you. And if you get caught by it and pinched between two solid blocks, you die. And that's bad. So you want to come down. And then once you get to the last crystal coming back this way, which is the first one you saw as you came up, you're going to dash forward, fire a normal chain, and then hold charge. And what's going to happen, there's a bat here that if you grab the wall at the right place and you'll kill the bat. Now the bats have a large drop rate for energy, and it could be of any kind. It could be weapon or life. But you want to have full life in case he drops any life energy, and you won't lose time because of the game pausing. If he drops weapon energy, there's really nothing you can do because you're going to go right under the bat and you're going to pick up the energy anyway. But regardless, you will just want to keep holding charge and go back to burner as you fall. And then you get into this corridor. You're going to jump over this reflector here. And then right before you dash into this one, there's two ways you can go about this. You can either dash forward and stay on the ground and go through just the bottom one, which is safer. Or you can kind of do a brave dash jump. And there's actually enough room. X's hitbox is big enough that if you release the burner at the right height, X will burner and it will kill this one and this one before the capsule, which will lag just slightly less than if you left the one up here alive. And it also helps to when you exit the capsule if this one's dead, because that opens up a capsule jumping out of the capsule instead of dashing off. So we chain, and in this case the bat doesn't drop any energy, so that's good. So this is the trigger, then we chain, hold, charge, go to burner, and then in this version that I record, this video I had already pre-recorded, I took out both of those crystal enemies. Now if you time you want to time the Buster just before running into that first one. If you mistime it, or if you take damage from one of these other enemies before you get to him, you'll end up taking another hit. You'll end up getting hit while in the burner, and the capsule won't open if X is in his invincibility frame. So you want to not get damaged, or you'll lose time. So as soon as you come out of the capsule, you're going to go right back to burner, but you want to hold charge while you're coming out of the capsule. Now, I attempted a jump out of the capsule, but didn't get it in this recorded video. But still, you want to have your charge burner going, and then as soon as you jump out, you're going to jump onto the wall above, just where that last reflector is, and you're going to dash jump off and burner to the right. And then start climbing and recharging another burner. Now, I'm going to stop the video right about here. Now, as you see, I'm going to walk just for a little bit, and that's going to draw this top bat just above him and in front of him down towards X. And these bats will track X's position, and this is just slow enough to allow me to make this jump right here without getting hit by the bat. And then as I get above the crystal, I'll release the charge. If you go fast immediately up to the little where the crystal rests, the bat will hit you because he's tracking you and he's already following you, and he'll cut you off. So you just want to slow down just enough to allow enough space for X to fit through the gap there. and then you just charge another burner for the last burner of the stage. You're just going to dash up the ramp, do some quick jumps there, and then let the last burner go here at the top, which will trigger the last crystal, and then go to chain, get on the crystal, and then dash forward and chain the wall, CFO into a charge, and then enter the door. And don't worry about the enemy, because he can't interfere as long as you move correctly. So now for the setup for the Crystal Snail fight. You should still be holding charge, and just before going into the second door, you want to let your charge go. Just similar to the neon setup for Flame Stag and Magnet Centipede. Similar in that way. So now for the optimal snail fight. We'll go over the optimal one first, and then we'll go over its variations. So, as you come into this fight here, you're going to buffer a Buster Lemon as soon as X's meter fills. Or not X's meter, but the enemy meter fills. And then right after that, you want to press your shot button again to fire the neon shot. Just like that. Now, it's very important to note that this full charge neon that you fire after the buffered Buster Lemon can deal a different amount of damage. It's not fixed every time. In this version, the neon shot deals 3 damage. So the lemon will deal 1 damage, and the neon does 3. So you have 4 damage done total so far. And then after the neon shot, you want to dash under the crystal shots that he throws out, and you dash shot him for another 2 damage. So that's 6 damage total. And then he's going to retaliate by throwing another set of ice crystals, and you want to dash under those. Also, at the same time, you want to swap to Magnet Mine and fire a uncharged mine into Snail, which will deal 3 damage. So that's 9 damage total so far. Then, after you score the uncharged mine hit, you want to turn around and place another mine on the floor behind X, as shown. Then you want to CFO charge. So you're going to press shot for the mine and then hold charge. And then you want to climb up the wall on top of Snail. And then when Snail gets ejected and hits the other wall, he takes 3 more, or he'll hit the mine before you would hit the wall and takes 3 more damage. So that's a total of 12. And then the charged Magnet Mine you can control with up and down. You release the charge before Snail would claim his shell. And then after hitting him twice with the charged mine, you dash into the shell to kick it over to the other side of the room. And then you use up and down to keep the Magnet Mine on top of Snail. And if you do this correctly, he'll get hit 5 more times, each hit dealing 4 damage apiece, which is the remaining 20 HP that he has. Now, at the very end of that, on that last hit, he's got 2 RNGs. He can either jump, which is the best one, or he'll not jump, and he'll dash over to the shell and pick it up. And we'll cover the other RNG here in just a moment. But I'll play the fight from its entirety and show how it's supposed to look. So there's the charge. There's 2, 3, 4, 5. Now, as you hold up and down to control the mine, if you're holding left, or not left, yes, if you're holding left in addition to up and down, X will start moving forward a little bit. You want to refrain from doing that a whole lot if you can, because you don't want X to get, I don't want to say get hit, but you don't want to inadvertently mess up the strat. I've kind of messed it up once when I did it because I kept moving towards Snail. Also, you want to keep that mine on screen, because if the mine goes off screen, it's gone, and then you have to just use uncharged mines to finish the fight. So that's the good RNG with jumping. So now here is where if he picks up a shell instead, the fight starts and goes, and the middle of the fight goes the same way. The only difference here is the ending, and you'll see the difference. And it's also to note, you want to release the mine in front of Snail's hitbox. If you release it too far into his body, he won't take all 5 hits, because the mine goes a little bit faster than Snail's knockback will take him. As you see at the very end of those 5 hits, the back of Snail is getting hit by the mine. So if you release the mine too far into Snail, it will eventually go past him. 2, 3, 4, and he'll go right for the shell, but when he picks it up, he's vulnerable at that last hit. You want to anticipate him going up in case he does jump, but if he goes for the shell immediately, you can still get him just by remembering to go hold down. You're good. So there's no RNG in this fight if you execute it properly. Now, let's say the neon shot doesn't deal 3 damage. Let's say it deals only 1, or it does only 2. As you see, Snail will have 1 HP left here. So if that happens, you need to go over and kick the shell again to kick it away from the wall so Snail can't chase it down. And then just shoot an uncharged mine into him, and he'll be killed that way. It's only about a second slower, but it does guarantee that Snail won't get into a shell, because Snail cannot be damaged if he is inside a shell. So you want to prevent that at all costs. And I just did like a bunch of practice runs to try to get this pattern, and I got it once out of like 60 tries. So there's like 1 or 2 frames if you press after buffering the lemon, if you fire the neon on a certain frame, you won't deal 3 damage, you only get 2. But yeah, I just did like about 100 practice fights and only got this bad, not bad, but it's not the optimal neon shot once. And there's an audio cue about this neon shot I'll go over. On the second note of the boss music, so when you listen to the boss music, you'll hear a da da da. The second note of that 3-note sequence is when I press the Y button again to fire the neon. Even if you fire the shot late, sometimes you'll still get the 4 total damage on Snail. And I believe I have a video of that somewhere too. Here it is. So I come into this fight, and then I intentionally throw the neon late just to see if I get 3 damage off of it. So you can also watch the lemon as it goes across the screen. If you fire the buster shot as Snail gets hit by the lemon, that's usually a good timing also. But as you see, I threw the neon way late and still got him. See, that neon was significantly later than the other fights I've already shown. So that works also. Now, what if you forget to release the charge shot going into the door? Well, here is this version. You're not going to buffer a shot here in this case. You're just going to you're not going to hold wall. You're just going to let the fight start, and X will lose his first neon shot by default. And then what you'll do, you'll just swap, and also don't buffer a weapon swap also, because if you do that, weapon swaps take priority before a shot gets released. So if you press Y and try to buffer swap, you'll end up on the item tracer radar, And since when the fight begins, you're not holding a button, so X thinks he's releasing a charge shot on the first frame. And what will happen? The radar will come out and go across the screen, and you just wasted some time. So you want to wait just a few frames and then swap to a magnet mine, and then you'll just dash into him. And then after hitting him with the mine in front, you'll place the mine behind X just like you would in the optimal fight. And then release the charge magnet mine. Let it hit him 5 times. And then after that, just hit him with 2 more mines. And then dash against the shell to push it, to make Snail try to chase it. So, if you forget to let the charge go, or you try to and you're late into it, this is a good backup. Just don't even bother with the charge buster shots, because also if you try to fire a charge shot at Snail when he's not in any knockback, he'll go into his shell automatically, and that will delay killing him a little bit. Also, if you forget to charge at all, you can just shoot uncharged mines into him if you're not as comfortable with the advanced strategies yet. So you just shoot 2 uncharged mines, then let a charged mine hit him 5 times, and then 2 more uncharged, and it deals exactly the right amount of damage. And I believe I have one more. Nope, I think I've got all of them. So here is the stage. Nope, I don't have it, do I? I must have forgotten something. Okay. So I'm just going to go through the stage one good time, and that will conclude the tutorial. I've went over everything that I need to. So 7, 5, 6, 8, 2, 7, 3, 7, 5, 1, 8, 4, and 5, 2, 2, 3. So this is the ideal stage to showcase Strike Chain and Speedrunner at once. So hold charge and go to burner at the start. Release, chain, start your charge there. Tap, punch in the air, and then release. Tap again, jump, chain, 3 climbs, burner, chain the wall there. If you don't get it, don't worry, go back to burner. Burner. Also, you can shoot those guys with burner if you miss the weapon cancel. So chain jump, buster charge. Now I got a weapon drop that time, but it's okay, and I got both the guys, so that's good. So I'm gonna attempt the jump out of the capsule, and maybe I'll get it. But you want to come out of the capsule with a charge burner. Okay, I got that. Got the jump. So I'm gonna walk a little bit to draw the bat away. Burner again. Go to chain, fire and charge, and then cancel the buster. And then release just before touching the door. Now we'll see what kind of fight I get here. Also, you can also bonk into Snail intentionally after hitting him with a dash shot. It's called the OVA deboost, so you don't get frozen by the ice. And he jumps. Awesome. So that's a really good stage right there. That's how that stage should look. And this tutorial is over.